gel-based under eye cream, which is extremely important, especially in weather like this, because it does not allow the under eyes to sweat, and it lasts, and it does not allow the lines to show under the eyes. I have followed this by using it's called Time Balm. It's a face primer, and if you see, it has no color. It's very, very mattifying, and it's gel-based. It goes right into your skin right there. It closes your pores, and it does not allow your makeup to move all day. Again, a very essential tool in your kit to have, especially for this weather that we're having. And of course, I have finished off the rest of her face with the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I've used a little bit of this under the eyes to conceal the dark circles, and I have used the LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation, and I very lightly applied it, and of course, finished it off with a light dusting of the Nykaa powder, which is a compact powder right there. And this is great because you can build up on this. It does not look too powdery or cakey, and you can touch up your skin, and even if your face gets wet, it pretty much stays in place.
Namrata, Jyotika wants to know what the best way to apply foundation is. Should she use her fingers, a sponge, or a brush?
Okay, so the best way to apply foundation is, it depends on what you like to do. A lot of people like to use their fingers, but just make sure if you're using your hands, they're clean. So either wash them with, Dettol or hand wash, or then make sure that you use a sanitizer. If not, my favorite way of actually applying foundation is the YBP Cosmetic sponges. They're fantastic. They're really, really hygienic, and they're easy to wash. You just wash them with cold water and a hand wash, and all the makeup comes off, and it really blends foundation in very well.
Ritu wants to know what the best base and cream is for excessively oily skin.
The best base and cream for excessively oily skin would be anything which is gel-based, because it is very important in this weather to use anything that is lighter on your skin, and which does not block your pores and does not make your skin look oily. So guys, now I'm going to continue this, and I'm going to be showing you a really cool look for this weather. I'm starting off by doing just a really beautiful, color on the cheeks. I don't want to go too bright, but what happens in the rainy season is when you use a powder blush, it kind of fades away, especially if you sweat or your skin gets wet. So what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be using the lipsticks of Color Bar. These are the Rain collection, which is really beautiful. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use a lovely pink, and I'm going to show you how to apply this with a sponge. This kind of becomes like a stain on your cheeks. It lasts all day, and it's quite amazing. So I'm going to take a little bit of this on my hand right there. It's a great packaging, and I'm going to take the flat part of my sponge. It is slightly damp, not too damp, and I'm going to go into the product, and I'm going to make cat smile slightly for me, and I'm just going to dab this product into the face. So like you can see, I am not really pressing it in. I am literally just patting and dabbing this product into the skin. It starts looking like a beautiful flush that is coming from deep inside her skin, and it looks fantastic. It's a very, very buildable product, and it lasts pretty much the entire day, so you don't have to stress, about it coming off. It's easy. It's a small little lipstick that you can just dump into your handbag, and you can reapply it later. So I'm doing the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to make her smile slightly, and very, very lightly, I'm just dabbing this onto her cheeks. This color looks really pretty. It's a soft, pretty pink. And again, less is more. So apply a little bit at a time and keep building as and when you go along.
Pooja wants to know if you dampened your sponge with water or with something else.
So I have used water, but just make sure that you use distilled water, that is, a Bisleri or something which is like an Avene face mist, anything which is, very safe to use on your face, not something which is like tap water, because you never know what bacteria are there in it. So always make sure that you use something which is distilled, and you're fine to go. So you can see, guys, it looks really pretty. She looks like she's flushing, and honestly, this color will last pretty much the entire day, but if it doesn't, carry this with you, and you're ready to go. And once I've done this, I'm going to be creating a beautiful glow on the skin with a creamy
illuminator. This is really beautiful. This is Makeup Revolution Ultra Strobe Cream. I know it looks a little scary. It's white and silver and many colors, but it's actually a really, really beautiful product. So again, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be taking this with my sponge. The thing is, if you apply it with a brush, you kind of get brush strokes on your skin. Very, very important to apply this with a sponge. It works beautifully. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the side of my sponge because I've used the back for color. And I'm just going right into this product right there. You can see a lot of it has come on my sponge. And I'm going to remove the excess on my hand. So your hand becomes a palette. So just make sure that you have washed and sanitized your hands or a palette before you start this. So once I've taken off the excess product, I'm just going to tap this into the high cheekbones right there. So highlighter always has to be applied on the bony parts of your face and not the hollow parts of your face. So always remember that. So you can see it already adds a beautiful, beautiful highlight. And I'm going to go just very, very lightly into the blush area that I have created. And I'm again going back into this, taking off the excess. And I'm going right there.
One of our viewers wants to know how to
Forget,
make the makeup sweat-proof or waterproof once you've
So
put it on.
what is important to remember is that always use something that is water-resistant or waterproof. So LA Girl has a great line which is, pro coverage and long-lasting, and it is waterproof. I would say waterproof means water-resistant. Of course, if you go for a swim or you get soaking wet, it's not really going to stay on for very long, but it lasts. So if you just take a tissue paper, and if you've gotten wet and you just gently take off the excess water, your makeup will still be intact. So always remember, use oil-free products because those will last much longer. So like you can see, that looks really pretty, and the skin looks very, very highlighted, very, very fresh. And don't forget to go on the bridge of the nose, a little bit on the forehead, on the chin, and of course on the Cupid's bow. Very important, because when you do a little bit of highlight on the Cupid's bow, it looks very pretty and it actually accentuates the shape of your lips, and it looks amazing. And you can add as much of highlight as you want, but again, guys, remember, less is more. So start with a little bit and then keep increasing it as much as you want to. So once I've done with this, I'm just going to take a little bit more of my strobe cream, and I'm going to go very, very lightly under my eyes so that, it just evenly looks like it has been highlighted very well. And of course, close your eyes, don't forget your eyelids. Whatever is left on the sponge, just go onto your eyelids. And of course, you can re-add some cheek color if you feel you've put too much of strobe cream. And the face already looks very flushed, very pretty. And sometimes this is all you need, when you're like stepping out and you're going out for a brunch in the day, or if you're just meeting your friends, if you're going for a film. Sometimes you don't need more than this. And of course, don't forget to fill in your eyebrows. I have already used the Nykaa Brow Chica Wow. Brow Chica Wow, it's a cool name. And it comes with a brush on one side. So you can just brush your eyebrows into shape. And of course, it comes with the color on the other side. So depending on how dark or how light you want your eyebrows, you can fill them in. I've already filled in Kat's eyebrows, and they're looking quite beautiful. And I'm going to finish this off with one of my favorite things to do is wear a little bit of color. We tend to go very, very dull when, we're going out, and we get scared to wear makeup because we feel that it's not water resistant and it's going to come off our faces. But honestly, Nykaa, Maybelline, all these brands have these amazing eye pencils which actually last, and they're waterproof and water resistant, and it just adds a hint of color to your face. I'm going in actually for a really beautiful indigo dark blue, and if you see, there are these three amazing colors. One is Maybelline and the other two are Nykaa. The Nykaa ones are the Glamorize, and the Maybelline is the Lasting Drama. They're fantastic products. And I'm just going to try a little bit of the color on my hand to see the color pay off. And I'm going to see what I want to use for this season. And I love this bluish green. It looks beautiful. It's going to actually make cat's eyes look lighter, because when you use anything which is jewel toned, it actually makes the brown of the eyes look lighter, which is actually quite beautiful. So I'm going to go in for this color, and I'm going to be using a pencil brush to just smudge it and put the color in place. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes, please. And I am very, very gently going to create a line across the eyelid, very close to the lash line, guys. And with my pencil brush, I'm just going to smudge this into place. I do not want a full-on, very, very sharp line. I want it more like just a hue of color on top of my eyelids. So what I'll end up doing is I use a pencil brush all the time to just, make sure that even the excess product comes onto the brush, and, there's just the right amount of color. So if you see when she opens her eyes look beautiful, because you can just see a hint of green on the eyelid, and it's just the perfect amount. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. I'm just going to apply a really thin line, and then with my smudging brush, like a pencil brush, I'm just going to fix this into place. Of course, you can go in and intensify it if you really want to, which I'm going to. It looks quite beautiful.
Neelam wants to know what are good eyeshadow colors for the monsoon. What would you recommend?
See, anything which is jewel toned or earthy looks really good, because we don't have a lot of sun, and everything is very dull. So when you wear anything which is jewel toned, it looks really pretty, because it actually makes your face look brighter. It pumps up your skin, and it looks really nice. So of course, what I'm going to do is that open your eyes, please look down, and I'm just going to go into the inner corner, which is really important, because a lot of times that lands up looking empty, like blank space. So keep that in mind. This color is beautiful for Indian skin. It really, really shines through. It's got a little bit of glitter, but just the right amount. And you can see how gorgeous that looks. So when cat's eyes are open, you can just see a hint of that beautiful bluish green, and it's just so pretty, and it's perfect for this gloomy, gloomy weather that we're having, with lots of rain and no sun and very humid and damp. So this is actually one of my favorite things to do. So you can do this in a chocolate brown, a bronze, a gold. You can do it in indigo blue, a forest green. You can do it in all these colors, which look really beautiful in this weather. And at the same time, it just makes your eyes look open and alive. So I'm good. Yes.
Sorry, Namrata. Shreya wants to know, where would you concentrate more this season, on the lips or on the eyes?
Okay, so that's a personal preference, honestly. If you are lucky enough to have found eye pencils that actually are water resistant and don't come off your eyes, because a lot of times they may be water resistant, but if you have very watery or oily eyes, they do tend to come out. I would say concentrate the eye makeup on the top lid and don't do too much underneath, and do a beautiful lip color. I would opt for a beautiful semi-matte or a matte lipstick for this weather, because I just feel that lips instantly make your face look really alive and fresh. And of course, it's much easier to use, and it's just one product that you have to carry in comparison to a lot more. So I would choose lips over eyes, but I feel that we kind of tend to forget about our eyes, and Indians have the most beautiful brown eyes. So try this out, and I'm sure you'll be really happy.
Sumaira wants to know if there are any particular lipstick shades that you would favor this season.
Okay, so please, please, please don't wear browns. And please, please don't only wear nude colors. Wear colors like orange and pinks and soft peaches, beautiful glossy liquid lipsticks. But remember to always use a little bit of a hydrating oil before you use a liquid lipstick, because it has a lot of alcohol content in it. So it kind of dries out your lips a lot. So remember, just try and go in for a little bit of color, and if you're really scared to use too much color, try it as a stain before you try it on as a full lipstick. I'm going to finish this off by using the Maybelline Hyper Curl Volume Mascara. It is waterproof, water resistant, and I've tried this a million times, and every time I've gotten wet, or even if I've used it and I've gone into the pool, it doesn't come off.
Namrata, should we be using sunscreen on rainy days?
Yes, sunscreen should be used every single day of your life. Even if you're sitting at home, even if you're stepping out, even if there's no sun and it's raining, because even this light, like a light anywhere around you, can affect your skin. So sunscreen is not only used for the sun, sunscreen is even used for any kind of light because it just protects and it gives you that UV filter, which is very important for your skin.
And what about moisturizer?
Moisturizer, I think it depends. If you have oily or combination skin, you can get away with a really, really good BB cream in this weather because it gives you coverage. At the same time, it has just the right amount of moisture in it to not allow your skin to dry out. Whereas for someone who has dry skin, I would still recommend to go in for a moisturizer because whether it's rainy season, winter or summer, your skin does remain dry. So guys, I have finished and done these really, really pretty eyes for Kat. And what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to finish this off with a really, really pretty orange lipstick. Again, I'm going to show you a quick trick. People again ask me, oh my God, you know, we don't like to use bright colors because it's scary. Well, I'm going to show you how to use this as a stain. So all you do is that you just apply a little bit of this in the center of your lips. And open your lips, please. And with your ring finger, which has got the least amount of pressure, you start dabbing this color and taking it all the way to the corners of your lips. So finish what is on your lips already, dabbing it and smudging it before applying more. And this just looks really soft. You don't have to worry about, you know, the color payoff being too much. And you can build on it as much as you like. And once you get the confidence of wearing this, it can look really beautiful when it is extremely, extremely, you know, sharp and bright as a color. So once I've done this, I'm going to be taking my lip brush, okay, and just taking very, very little of this on the corners. And I'm just going to make sure that the corners are very, very lightly filled out. It shouldn't look like a full-on color, but it should just look evenly smudged.
Namrata, one of our viewers wants to know what shade of lipstick you're using right
I
now.
am using Color Bar. This is the Rain collection called Thunder. It's really pretty, and if you see the packaging, it's amazing. It actually has like these raindrops which have been frozen, and it looks really stunning. You can see the color payoff of Color Bar. It's actually fantastic, and I'm just building on this color little by little, and the lips look so kissable and so sweet, and I think you're ready to go out and feel confident because makeup gives you that confidence, you know, it makes you feel like, okay, I'm looking pretty and I want to go out and I want to shop and I want to have a good brunch somewhere. So this is actually one of my favorite go-to looks for the rainy season. Again, guys, don't forget, like I said, use different colors. I like to use something like a green or a blue because I just feel that, you know, it brings out the eye color. But even a color like bronze or even a, you know, like a dull gold does wonders for the eyes. But don't forget to use at least one coat of waterproof mascara to open up the eyes and make it look like you've just, you know, got this beautiful doll-like effect on the face, and it looks fantastic.
Komal has open pores. She wants to know what she should opt for in terms of base in
Okay,
help
so
with the humidity.
I think the answer to your question would be that always before applying any skinning, any prep or prime for your skin, make sure that you ice your skin. What icing does is that it just closes your pores. So just take 2 cubes of ice and just ice your skin till the cubes are over. Then take a tissue paper and take out all the excess water which is on the skin, and then use something like the Time Balm Face Primer, which is very matte. So what happens with a matte primer is that the pores look like they don't exist, they minimize. And it gives the illusion of the pores being much, much less on your skin. And of course, over a period of time, it actually does start to close up. And I think one of the best foundations which I have discovered for you know, anybody who has big pores would be a liquid foundation, because I feel a liquid foundation is very buildable and you can apply as much as you need on the parts of the face that require the coverage. So if you're conscious about large pores, you can always apply a little bit extra and make sure that you blend it in really well with a sponge or with, you know, a blending brush like this, and make sure that you go in a clockwise and anti-clockwise motion and make sure that the foundation goes inside the, covers it up really, really, really well, and then you powder it in.
Sorry, Namrata, can you repeat the name of the primer?
The name of the primer is Time Balm. It is from the brand called the Balm Cosmetics, and it is a face primer which, if you see how it looks, it's transparent, but it's very, very gel based. It's very gel. It's got no color, but if you see what happens, can you see what's happened? Like my skin looks very clean and very clear on this area because it looks like I have no pores, because that's the job of this primer. It just minimizes the look of the pores.
We want to ask you about another common monsoon
Yes.
skin concern, which is breakouts.
Yes.
So what kind of makeup products should you be using if you are, prone to breakouts?
Okay,
in
so I
monsoon?
think what is important is to remember that always remove your makeup at the end of the night really well. Use something that suits your skin. So if you are someone, who has problematic skin, just stick to a good makeup remover, or just simply something like a bio oil or a baby oil, with a cotton pad. Just remove it and make sure that you use, anything which has got, a slight medicinal, like a Cetaphil or something, just to wash off the excess product on your face, dab it down, and then make sure that whatever foundation you apply, conceal it really well. So for acne prone skin, use a good concealer. But honestly, what I have discovered over the years is a good BB cream actually helps your skin over a period of time and stops allowing your skin to break out too much.
Harsha says she can't get her lipstick to last through the day. What are your tips to...
Okay, so I think always remember to just use a little bit of an hydrating oil just before, right at the beginning of your makeup application. So when you're prepping and priming your skin and you're applying your foundation, use a little bit of a hydrating oil like a bio oil or any oil that you're comfortable, as long as it's a very lightweight oil. Apply it on your lips and leave it on. Once you're ready to do your lips, take a tissue paper, remove the excess, and always start with a lip pencil. A completely matte, full coverage lip pencil. Apply it all over your lips, create the desired shape that you want for your lipstick, and then go in with one coat of your lipstick, pop your finger in, remove all the excess which is going to come onto your teeth, pat it down with a tissue paper, and reapply a second coat, and you will be surprised for how much longer your lipstick will last.
Richa's asking, what's better, a BB cream or a CC cream?
Oh my God, is there a difference between a BB cream and a CC cream? I think it's advertising. I don't think there's a difference. I think it's just a way of, different brands have different, versions of what they want to sell. And I think that a BB cream and a CC cream have got are very similar and are used for pretty much the same things.
Do you have a favorite BB cream?
Yes, I love the Body Shop one. It's a really, really good BB cream. And of course, you have Bobbi Brown and a lot of other brands that do it.
Okay, a lot of our viewers have been asking this question. What's the best way to conceal dark under eyes? Everyone wants to know.
Okay, so the best way of concealing dark under eyes is a good eye cream to prep and prime your under eyes, because if you are applying a lot of concealer and corrector, you need to make sure that your under eyes are well hydrated before you apply your corrector and concealer. So make sure that you apply a corrector. Now, a corrector is something that takes care of the darkness which is there under your eyes. So if you have a warm undertone, that means your under eyes will be slightly greenish black. That means you need to use a peach corrector under your eyes. And if you have a cool undertone, that means your dark circles look slightly purplish blue, you need to use a corrector which has got a pink undertone. So make sure that you use the correct corrector, and then you go in with a really fantastic concealer, and you will be amazed at how beautifully your dark circles get corrected.
Ashlesha says that in this humid weather, her makeup starts melting off even though she uses water-based foundation. Can you suggest anything to stop this?
Yes. So make sure that you prep your skin really well. So only use gel-based prep and prime, because in this weather it's so humid that whatever you use kind of starts melting off your face. So make sure that your eye cream and your serum or your face cream is gel-based. Make sure once you apply it, give your skin around 10 to 15 minutes for it to settle in, and then always apply a liquid foundation, or apply I prefer a liquid foundation, and nowadays you even get mousse and gel foundations that actually last much longer in this weather, or even in any humid weather that is possible.
it a good idea to use face powder in the monsoon?
You know, honestly, I would use a blot powder or blotting paper, which is really, really important. Smile. Which is really, really important. And because what happens with powder is that the more you start applying, the more it looks cakey. And you keep trying to correct something because, you know, you've sweated and you've sweat, sorry, and, you know, a patch comes out and you apply more powder over there thinking that the powder is going to sort it out. But the best way is just use a blot paper or a blot powder because it's much finer and it does a much better job.
Sujata's asking for easy tips for doing your eyebrows.
Easy tips to shape your eyebrows. Okay, so this is actually a really good question. In the monsoons, a lot of people ask me, what is the right product to use for your eyebrows? Okay, so it is really important if you like to do your eyebrows to make sure that you've used anything that is got a pomade in it or which has got a slight, you know, creamy based primer to it because you apply that first before applying the powder. So even if you get wet in the rain, it stays put. And if you don't have that option, opt for an eyebrow pencil because those are already made smudge proof and oil resistant and they kind of last much longer than anything else.
Okay, another question everyone is asking is your recommendation for your, like, a good foundation, the best foundation?
Oh my God, okay. You know, this is a very, I don't know how to answer this because honestly, I think it just depends on which client is sitting on my chair and what their needs are at that particular point. But I do love the LA Girl Foundation. I love Makeup Revolution. I love Bobbi Brown. I love, what else is there? I love Maybelline Fit Me. That's a really nice foundation. So I think these are some of my favorite foundations which I always, always have in my kit at all times.
Do you have any recommendations for setting sprays?
I'm not overly fond of setting sprays, but I would say, which is a good one? I would say MAC has a really good setting spray that actually kind of works very well in humid weather. Okay guys, so I'm really excited to have been here. Thank you, Kat. You were a beautiful model and you can see how nice and alive her face looks. It's been a dream to do this once again with Nykaa. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed my session and I hope I answered all your questions. It was fantastic being here. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. You're beautiful. How long have you been in Bombay?